Welcome back to the pod. Today we have a Fresno State football episode with transfer Khristian Martin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We have congratulations in order because you just graduated from Maryland.
Yes, ma'am.
Early, but you still have 3 years of eligibility. So what did you get your degree in?
I got my degree in sociology.
And what did you like about sociology?
I think it was just learning. Honestly, it was a chance to graduate with the opportunity to transfer for a better opportunity for myself. So it kind of came down to how can I graduate but still obtain something of substance.
How did you graduate so early, also having a student-athlete schedule?
I think a lot of great support. I had a lot of great support in high school to help me get through that rigorous program. And then when I got to college, Maryland also had very good support staff and, very understanding coaches who allowed me to take more of a course load during the season and, come into some meetings a little bit late, 15, 20 minutes late. I think that all kind of tied into it. And then my mom just laying a foundation of being very on me about my academics always. So it kind of just got trained into me.
I'm glad you brought up your mom because I'm thinking, okay, this had to start a lot earlier than college, probably a lot earlier than high school. So because there's a lot of intentionality that goes into progressing through your academic side that quickly. When do you remember first talking about that? Hey, here's some of the goals we have academically, and here's how I'm going to do it.
So when I went to high school, it was a decision. I kind of had a few schools that I could go to. My zoned high school, a private school, and then I also got accepted into the ACA at Highland Springs High School, which is where I chose. And my mom actually made me make a whole presentation in front of my whole family on why I wanted to go to Highland Springs. And so for me, I'm good at school, but it's not my favorite thing to do. So it was, how can I accomplish that as fast as possible? And obviously that still gives you a lot of substance with being able to obtain your associate's degree and a lot of knowledge. So I think it was a lot of those things. My mom has always been on me. She's a school social worker, and she's a first-generation college student in her family. So for her, she saw the doors that education opened up for her, and that I knew that was something that she always wanted to pass down to me. So all the way K through 12, she's always been super hard on me about my grades, and athletics was always just a bonus.
So that was like a dual enrollment program where you had your AA by the time you finished high school?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's ahead of the game. And I got to ask, since you told us you made a presentation for your whole family, what was the selling point? What was the point you were hammering home for them?
So just interesting story. So at that point, I was going to the private school because the ACA at Highland Springs hadn't accepted me yet. So I was going to go to that private school, and about a week before school started at that private school is when I got accepted. And I went to my mom, and I told her, I want to go to the other school. And there was some work that had to be done on the other end to get me out of that St. Christopher's, which was the other school, the private school that I had the opportunity to go to. And so that was just, I had to write why I would switch my decision in such short notice. So my mom knew I really thought out my decision and thoroughly went through a process and not just, making an impulsive decision.
Taylor, how long till we start calling him Dr. Martin?
Right? I was going to say, how focused was he as a high school student? I couldn't even imagine. But taking it back a little farther, what were your first memories of playing football?
First memories, I would probably say I-9 football. I don't know if that's something out here, but it's just a flag football league where a lot of kids play. And I think that was just I can kind of vividly remember scoring my first touchdown there. And always I'm kind of on the younger side of my cousins. So, I was always getting roughed up in the backyard by them. And so that was kind of my first memories playing football.
You said you also played basketball. So why did you decide to pursue football instead of basketball?
I'm a lot bigger on the football field than I am on the basketball court.
Very true.
Obviously, I love football, but 6'3", 6'4"-ish is, pretty average on a basketball court. On a football field, you're a pretty tall quarterback. So, kind of came to business decision as well as just I had a love for football. Basketball kind of was, I enjoyed playing it, but I didn't like practicing it.
How'd you get into the quarterback position?
I kind of always played it when I was younger, and it's something I grew to love. And so with that just kind of always being something I did, it kind of just came very natural to me. And as I got older, my mom poured into me to give me the resources, and different people poured into me to allow me to continue to progress. And I felt like it was something I really loved, so I just always stuck with that.
I'm guessing there are probably other sports you tried too besides just those two.
I played some soccer when I was little. My mom put me in t-ball. I hated t-ball. It was too boring.
Uh-huh.
And then soccer. I can't remember why I stopped playing soccer, but I know I didn't like soccer. And my mom also put me in track as well.
And were there some guys, Taylor asked you about the quarterback position. Were there some guys you watched growing up? You
Yeah,
said,
for
man,
sure.
I want to play the position like that guy does?
Growing up, I was always a little bit taller. So, guys like Cam Newton, that was like, him playing was like my younger age. And, just watching him play, that was like one of the guys I always kind of looked up to. Then obviously Tom Brady. As I got older, you grow to love him, of course. As you're younger, you kind of always hate to see the guy who keeps winning. But, as I got older, kind of love to enjoy the greatness that you're watching and, his intentionality and what goes into him playing that position.
And when you're as big and strong as you are at the quarterback position, a lot of people say, oh, well, he's got to be a running quarterback, right? Like Cam Newton had that size, and he could run a little bit. How would you explain how you see yourself as a quarterback? Because Bulldog fans haven't seen you play yet.
I would say definitely like pass first. I feel like I have the ability to run and impact the game in that way, but I feel like I can hurt a defense with my arm, and when they play their assignment soundly, and might not have the best call on the field, I can also do damage with my legs as well, and get those yards for the team that we need.
So you went to Maryland out of high school. Talk about your recruitment process.
It started pretty early. My 9th grade going in 10th grade summer is when I got my first offer from Old Dominion, and kind of from there, it kind of just was pretty consistent, kind of picked up. It was pretty hectic, kind of stressful. It was fun, then got stressful, but I was very blessed to, get the offers I had from different schools. And my mom, I know I keep bringing her up, but she did a great job of just taking me to a lot of different places and allowing me to see a lot of different things to make the best decision as possible.
And then what went behind your decision to go in the portal from Maryland?
Just the opportunity to play. Malik Washington, very good quarterback, young quarterback, and that's the direction Maryland decided to go. So, I've supported him for a full season, still supporting him, but I also wanted to achieve my own dreams and aspirations. So, coming to Fresno State allowed me to, have the best opportunity to do that with great players and a great school and a great coaching staff.
What stuck out about Fresno State to you?
Obviously, when you hear Fresno State, you think of the long lineage of quarterbacks that have come through here. So, that's kind of the first thing I thought of. And, the winning culture. And when I came here, didn't know much. I'd never been to Fresno, California. But just talking to Coach Ince, talking to Coach Davis, getting a feel for the culture with the player panel, talking to some of the players, it kind of just fell into one of those situations where I had a checklist and it was able to check off almost everything on the list besides geographic location. And I think home will always be home. So, why not?
Some time in California, right? Some sunshine.
Yeah, I'm just curious, when you've never been to Fresno before and you hear about it and you're coming all the way across the country, how close is what you actually ended up experiencing to what you thought it was going to be?
Nothing like it. I didn't know that it was this much agriculture around here.
Uh-huh.
But I think when I first seen agriculture, I'm like, wow, I don't know, is this anything where I've been to? I'm kind of thinking am I going to a really small town where there's nothing but it's everything here. It got Applebee's, my favorite salad is the Oriental chicken salad, and I can still go there. Did a bowling alley, Dave and Buster's, and so it's a lot of stuff to still do, some things to still do, and obviously there's not too much to do, not too many distractions, so you can still focus on football and still have things for outlets when the time is there.
Mm-hmm.
What stuck out to you about Coach Davis?
I think the offense, it's a lot of similarities between what I'm coming from and Coach Davis's offense. Kind of his vision for the offense, what he's been able to do at prior stops, as well as just hearing them talk about how he wants the quarterback to be tied to the hip with him, and he's very talking to him and having conversation. It was okay, he wants the quarterback's input. He wants to hear what you like, what you don't like. Those different things were really important to me because obviously he's the coach. He always has the final say so, but knowing in his head, he's not just saying it's my way. It's collaborative on what can my quarterback do and execute well, not just what do I want executed well. Obviously, you have to play in a system, but he also wants input from you as well.
So leadership comes with the quarterback role, and trust is one in the locker room, I would say. So how do you plan on winning that trust, or how have you started winning that trust?
I say first thing is just building relationships with those guys, intentional relationships. It starts off the field, I think. So, just sitting in the locker room talking with those guys, went bowling with some of the guys, like different things like that where you're just, getting away from the field. And then obviously we spent a lot of time all together. The guys have been very receptive. They're coming in early, 6 a.m. We're going over plays. We're talking football. And I think different things like that where you show them that you're willing to put the work in. And when they follow along, you start to learn a lot about each other. You start to talk. And, sometimes it's not always about football. You're just in there talking about maybe what you're doing off the field, maybe just your life, maybe even just high school football and different things. But you start to learn a lot about each other. And I think just building brotherhood, along with that comes the trust. And just showing them that you'll hold them accountable, but you'll also be very receptive to them holding you accountable.
And there's a couple of guys that were in the program last year at that position. There's recruits coming in, including a real high-profile local recruit. That was a big deal for people around here. How have you started to engage with those guys, and what's your expectation for this competition this spring? I mean, it's right around the corner. You guys are going to be duking it out.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. Everybody's been working super hard, so I'm excited to see what everybody. I think iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. So I feel like everybody bringing their best foot forward. I think it'll make up for a great competition. And at the end of the day, the coaches make the decision, none of us. So for me, it's one of those situations where you put your work on the field, you do put your best foot forward, put all the work you can, and then you allow the coaches to make the decision, and you support that decision.
And I'm just imagining, right? If you told us everything about your academic path and how ahead of the game you were and how strategic you were, what are you doing right now? Because spring ball doesn't start here for a few more weeks. What are you doing right now that you hope is going to give you an edge once you do get going?
So typically, I'm in the building about 5:45, 6:15 between that window. I bring the guys in about 6:30, so about 15 minutes by myself, kind of just going over. 6:30, the guys come in. We're kind of just hammering out plays, talking over the offense, talking over different things, looking at film. About 7:30, usually Coach Jared Taylor comes in or Coach Davis, and they're talking to us about the film and, just having that group come together so we, can improve on things from last year. It gives you that little bit extra time, see it a few more times than what you may see it if you just start in the spring. So I'm doing that, and then 3 p.m. about every day I go see Coach Davis after that. About 3 to 4 times a week I'm throwing receivers on the field. I've really upped my recovery with the reduced school time that I have to do now. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my body feels the best it's felt, as well as I feel like I'm consistently able to, work on my game, work on my craft, learn the offense. And so I think that'll help give me an edge.
Have you beaten Coach Davis in ping pong yet?
No, I haven't played Coach Davis in ping pong yet.
He'll be ready for you.
What have you heard about the home game atmosphere here?
I heard it's amazing. I can't wait to see it. I've seen some of the pictures, and it looks great. And I know touchdowns, the lights flicker, so I'm hoping we do a lot of that this year.
And I'm sure you've seen pictures of uniform combos. Are there any that you're excited to wear?
I haven't looked much into that,
Okay.
honestly. I think I saw the white and green ones. Those looked pretty cool to me. I don't know if we actually do have black jerseys, but I think I've seen something black jerseys, and I've always been a big fan of black jerseys, so I think that'd be something I would look forward to wearing as well.
Yep, we have a good color scheme here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got to meet Pat Hill yet? Coach Pat Hill?
Yes, I met him yesterday, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I met him yesterday. Yes.
Yeah, great guy.
Great guy. Pretty funny as well. We was sitting in Coach Davis' office, he was looking at some high school recruits, and Coach comes in there, and Josiah Freeman is up there with us as well. And he asked to see one of Josiah's plays from last year that he loved. So, it was great meeting him for the first time, the legend he is. So.
Yeah.
He absolutely is. You mentioned your mom a lot. Are there some other people that on this journey have just been really influential, inspiring, or maybe have helped you get to the point now where you've got this potentially exciting opportunity in front of you?
Yeah, so of course, like my close intermediate family, like my mom's sisters, my grandmother, my grandfather, who's no longer here, and then my mom's boyfriend. He's been in my life. My high school head coach. He has been very, very instrumental. Somebody I'm still very close with to this day. I think he did a great job in high school. I think he does a great job with a lot of the players. He's developed, and I think he puts a lot of us in the right mindset and ready to go when we go to the next level of college.
How would you describe your motivation, like just in general in life? What fires you up and gets you going? Because obviously you're a pretty motivated guy.
I would say first, I love football, but just like when it comes to life, I know it's my mom, and at the end of the day, I'm really like the only one she has. I'm her only child, so for me, I know like what she did for me, or actually I don't know everything she's done for me. I know she's done a lot more than what she openly says. So I know like raising me isn't easy as a single mother. So for her to do what she did, it's just small, paying it back for her. Continuously making her proud, doing the right thing. And for her, it's not about on the field. It's more about the young man I'm becoming and am, and being able to be a person that she's proud of, on and off the field.
Speaking of off the field, what are some hobbies or interests you have?
I'm a big time. I play the game a lot. If I'm not probably dealing with football, I'm probably playing the video game. Outside of that, I hang out with the guys when like we do stuff. But for me, like playing the video game is probably like my go-to. I could probably get home, look at film, and turn on the video game, and that's like a kid in a candy store. Like that's my
Take us through your pregame routine.
pregame routine. Whew, let me think about that. Typically, just starting from like wake up. I'm more of like a calm guy, so I'm like listening to like calmer music. Like to like have my mind at a ease space. I would say I'm not a super amped up guy on game day.
Okay.
I'm more on the calmer side, and throw. I don't really have like anything like I strictly stick to be honest with you. Yeah, kind of just however the day goes, and I know every team is kind of on a little bit of a different schedule, so just being able to adapt and see what that looks like this year and figure that out.
Would you say your demeanor on the field is also calm?
Yes, definitely. I'm pretty calm all around. Obviously, laugh and joke, but I would say I'm a pretty calm individual all around.
I don't know if you've been here long enough to miss anything too much, but, growing up in Virginia, going to school in Maryland, is there anything about that area, the DMV, or just the East Coast in general, that you're missing being out here in California?
Nah, not really. I mean, obviously you miss being closer to your family and friends, but outside of that, not really. At the University of Maryland, like my mom's a 2-hour drive away, so the frequency and being able to see her was nice, and seeing my family who is in New Jersey, that was a lot easier to do. And it'd be harder for everybody to make my games. But outside of that, I mean, it's kind of, you go to college, you build your own village there, and, football consumes so much of your time that you don't really have a lot of time for a lot of other things.
And there's a name that you haven't mentioned yet that I'm just curious, because Coach Entz had said that Coach Ferentz had a relationship
Yes.
with you from previously. Did that make a difference at all in this, transfer process to at least have a familiar face or name, someone you connected with before?
Yeah, meeting Coach Ferentz at Maryland, I spent a lot of time with him. He was there my freshman year, so I spent a lot of time on the scout field, and Coach Ferentz was over there with me as well. And I think, knowing the type of guy he is and, spending some time with him and hearing him talk about football and different things and knowing he's seen a lot of things. So that experience at Maryland with him was very beneficial, I think, to my development. And then seeing him be here as well, there's other coaches that I trust and know very well that, also speak very highly of Coach Ferentz. So, if Coach Ferentz is telling me, like, hey, I think this could be a really good fit for you, and, you also have other people who are saying, if Coach Ferentz is telling you that, you should seriously consider that. He wouldn't just say that just to say that. It speaks very highly on his character, but also the amount of trust. If I already trust him, but also other people you trust are also saying, like, you should really go explore that.
Last question for me. Fresno State's joining a new conference next year, going to the Pac-12. What are you looking forward to about that first season?
Obviously just, winning. Obviously you want to go win, but I think it's an exciting time for all of us. We all are excited to go into the Pac-12 with some new teams and also some familiar faces for everyone. But I think just the the name Pac-12 carries a lot of weight. So I think everybody's just excited, to prove Fresno State on a bigger stage.
I know you've been in the stadium, right?
Mm.
You walked on that checkerboard. You catch yourself imagining certain things happening in there? Have you, visualized some things in your mind that we might get to see this fall?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously step on that checker, and it's like you're just blessed to have another opportunity. The transfer portal is, it's not the best place, especially for players who haven't necessarily had the most reps or a lot of stuff on tape. So, you're kind of like, how do I want to say this? It's just like almost like a very thankful moment. Like, you're very thankful for the opportunity, and just like in your mind, like you're trying to just like think of how can I best take advantage of this opportunity that I've been blessed with and continue to improve.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Khristian.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time on The Pawd.